Recording in progress.
Welcome to another episode of Hometown Highlights. We have some special guests, newly state champs, Carey football. We have Coach Mershman, Coach Stock, Derek Lonsway with us. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is awesome. Dom Fry, my co-host. How are you doing today?
Good, doing excellent. Excited to be here.
Cool. Let's have a couple icebreaker questions. Are you guys Apple or Android users?
Android.
Oh, there's an Android guy.
Yeah. The tech guy.
The tech guy. Yeah, our tech guy.
I'm Apple all the way.
Apple Watch?
No.
Nope.
Too fancy with me. Just
Yep.
Apple.
Derek?
Yeah, same. I got an Apple iPhone, and that's it.
Okay, are you guys morning or night people?
I'm morning all the way.
Head coach, that's a good answer. That's what I would figure.
I'm definitely a night person.
Yeah, I'm morning. So
Gotta love the high school kids' answer. We were all there once until we grew up and can't sleep anymore, right?
Yeah, when the kids are getting you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you got to become a morning person or it's going to be absolutely miserable.
Yep, for sure. So, Coach, you're originally from Ottawa, correct?
Yep.
How'd the story? How'd you get to Carey?
So I went to Bluffton, played football, played safety there. My roommate in college, Brian Asher, is Kent Asher's nephew, who is the athletic director here for the last decade. Well, last like 8 decades, I should say. So he's been the athletic director here. So as soon as I graduated from college, he snagged me up and got me in here right away.
Gotcha.
So
And then, yeah, go ahead, Coach.
nepotism, basically.
And then Jordan and Derek, you guys are actually lifers, right? Carey lifers?
Yeah.
yep. Well, I mean, I live in Findlay now, but I still consider Carey my home.
Yeah. Born and raised, graduated from Carey.
Born and raised, yep.
Cool. And then Derek, what year in the classroom are you right now?
I'm a senior.
Senior? And you played quarterback, I assume, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let's jump in. Okay, so we started the season. We got beat by Hopewell Loudon. So you faced adversity right off the bat. What does that look like from your staff, from you as a player, Derek? Can you just run us through how the season started?
Going into the season, we had high expectations, and we had a handful of guys out there for Hopewell, which didn't help. But after that Hopewell game, we just kind of said, heck with the expectations. Let's just go out and let's just play Carey football.
What'd that look like for you, Coach?
Well, pretty much what he said. We had some guys out for this, that, and the other. We had one guy go out with a hand injury about 12 hours before the game, so we didn't really have a chance to get anybody repped or ready. And but no excuses. We should have still won the game. We should have still had our opportunities. We got owned a little bit up front. We like Derek said, eventually it was about us. Like, we are really good. And once we get over ourselves and start playing like we're supposed to play and, play as a team and start doing things the right way, we'll be unstoppable. And it took us about 6 quarters. And once we figured out, the right way to play, the rest is history.
Yeah, you guys, after that first game, obviously you mentioned it leaked over into that second game, but you kind of rolled after that, right? 15-1. So not a whole lot of adversity after you just got it kind of over with, right?
Yeah, I think the only adversity we had after the first 2 games was Colonel Crawford. We went into halftime down 17-14, and we played about as miserable first half as like beginning of the year basically, and only down 3. Then we came out and played our ball the second half, and again, took care of business. And really, that would have been about the only game where we were kind of going into halftime a little bit. Maybe Van Buren might have been the other one that we didn't play so well.
Well, you kind of had Mud Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Fun as a player, probably not so much as a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead,
was-
Derek.
It was something else. It was fun and not fun at the same time. You couldn't really. Throwing the ball was awful because that you get the ball snapped to you and you just have a hunk of mud sitting there on the ball. But our offense is kind of built to play in all conditions there, and so there in the second half we were able to get the run game going and kind of led one thing to another. Success.
Awesome. Yeah, you just got to kind of find a way when the conditions are like that. But that's Ohio in the late fall. I mean, it's like to a T what you would expect, right?
Yeah, I'm actually really pleased that we had that because when we went up to Euclid play Springfield and it's snowing, we just went right to that game plan that we did in the second half of Van Buren, which was downhill running. We didn't really pull anybody. We weren't being fancy. We weren't doing any rides or reads really. It was just more, hey, let's just get going. Let's just sled this out. Let's just snowplow this. And I think that game at Van Buren really helped us with that Springfield game because it was instantaneous. Like I was like, we're going right to that game plan when the liner like we can't pull, it's too slick. I was like, all right, well we're just gonna we know what game plan to do. We've already tested it, So I think every game this year led us down the road of learning to execute the way we did throughout the whole playoffs.
Well, you got a big front line, and then you got the Hog Molly 24 in the backfield, right? Secret weapon.
Jordan, you want to jump in on?
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Jump in on Jordan.
He really was the kind of the secret weapon that we kind of didn't know going into the season. Week 1 at Hopewell, he was one of our starting defensive linemen. He was our starting defensive end, and he was planned on getting his carries, getting a couple of carries and stuff in that game, and it just he kind of took on a life of his own as soon as he started getting to rock more and more. And then they took him away from defense, unfortunately for me. But yeah, so he was definitely a bell cow. And I all the newspapers and stuff, his nickname's probably one of my favorite that's been through here, that Winnebago nickname. I like that.
Derek, what's it like having a guy like that in the backfield?
It's definitely different, being in shotgun, you're lined up to a kid right beside you. He's 100 pounds heavier than you. But no, I mean, he stepped into the role. He did an awesome job for us. He didn't fumble it at all.
Wow.
The whole season. And I mean, he had a ton of carries and, but yeah, always fighting for extra yards, trying to grit, scratch, claw kind of attitude, which then fueled the offensive lineman up front, But yeah, it was awesome, and I was super proud of how he came into the season and filled the role.
It's awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be tackling that guy, right?
Like
No.
Derek said, I think there were 3 times that the ball was on the ground with him. Two of them were exchanges, if I remember right. Like one over at upper flipped up in the air, but he went and grabbed it. There was another one. There was an exchange a little bit, and then the other one he got hit from behind, but he gobbled it up right away back. He did not want to let go of that ball. I mean, once he got it in his hands, I was very surprised because a lot of teams were stripping because, like you said, they don't want to tackle him. So what are you going to do? Well, strip the ball from him.
Right.
I thought he did a great job, and I thought it also helped Derek out tremendously because now everybody was, by about week 8 or 9, they're focusing all on Jordan. They didn't care what Derek did, so Derek pull it and run around the edge, and nobody even knew it.
Yeah, definitely. When they start keying on him, we'd run a counter the other way, maybe pull a guard and running back through the hole as well. And it's like, wow, there's no one here, let's go. So, then it kind of made them think, all right, well, now we do have to account for the quarterback. And it just really opened up everything on the offensive side.
So as Ryan had mentioned, you guys, as you mentioned, the first 6 quarters were a little rough. And then you kind of got into your routine, we're talking 65-0, 56-0, some really big games, some big wins. What did it look like then as the playoffs started? Did the, coaching, and for you, Derek, like, was it just, this is what we've been doing all year long, let's continue to do it? Or how was the strategy game plan similar or different going into the playoffs?
I don't think really we didn't change a whole lot. We throw a couple new things in there here and there just to keep the other team on their toes a bit. But we knew who we were as a team going into the playoffs. We knew we were gonna ride on Valley Joe and that offensive line, and throw it when we need to. But the biggest thing I think was going into week 11 there. I don't think we were there like confidence. I didn't think it wasn't for sure if we believed it. But then we started winning games and people still kept doubting us. I think by Ashland Crestview we were like we can win this game. Who cares what the other people think? We started gaining that confidence. I felt that's when we really became dangerous.
Yeah, started having a mentality, kind of me against the world type of thing, and wanting to prove those individuals, teams. How was it on the defensive side of the ball, Coach Stock? Same mentality, same preparation going into the playoffs. Did anything change, once you got into those crucial games?
Defensively, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. And as a team as a whole, I felt like people were doubting the ability of the team a lot. We were run stuffers and things like that, and we could run the ball. So a lot of people had us pegged as one-dimensional on both sides of the ball. And, so it seemed like every week we'd have a different test to how are we going to stop something. And so what we would read in newspapers and things like that, I don't think Carey has the players. And it's nice to have that kind of fuel. But we knew all along. I mean, if we're kind of jumping forward here, but throughout the whole playoffs, we faced nothing but run teams. These guys are 80% or more of the time that they're running. And so once we got to Coldwater and they like to sling that ball around, that's pretty much what all the interviews were about. Like, now you got to play a passing team. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And they stepped up and got the job done.
It was also nice to have two corners that could shut things down too. That always helps. Everybody's like, well, yeah, you can stop the run. Like, yeah, we can stop the run. Yeah. Well, how are you going to stop the pass? I don't know. Wait until you find our two corners, and Conti, game changer. If you go back and watch games, makes a big catch on offense or a pick six, it's just impact player right there. I'm telling you, he would change the game. And then Bell, just like with Liberty Center, returns that opening kickoff for us back to their 40, just the two athletes right there at corner really helped us out on defense tremendously, because now all they had to do was stop the pass.
Love it. That's what the team is for. Everyone's stepping up when they need it. Like you said, especially once you kind of get that fuel added to the fire and you kind of have that underdog mentality going into each game and reading those headlines. You love it. That's the whole point of a team coming together. So you win the game, you beat Springfield, go into the state championship game. Before that game, take me through that week. Obviously a lot riding on that game. Carey looking for their first state championship in 46 years. As a community obviously was there for you, I'm sure, the entire season, but especially leading into that game. Again, I talked about mindset and going into the playoffs, but what was the preparation like, how hard, and maybe this is a good question for you, Derek, how hard was it for you to focus on the state championship game and not kind of let the glitz and glam and, everything I'm sure that was going on around you not impact you in that way?
Yeah, definitely that state week there was when we kind of started having all the publicity and, news reporters and, all these reporters coming in, but we tried to get that done early in the week, all right, have your kind of little glory, but, our 2 days where we go hard, we're going to go hard and get to work. I think the team, everyone handled the little glory or the shine, I would say. They handled it well. We really weren't sidetracked, I would say. We knew what we wanted to do, and we knew the job wasn't finished yet. So we kind of had that mentality of the job's not finished yet.
I will say that something I did say during those practices leading into the state championship, because there was, news crews there and filming us practice and stuff. And I said to one of the other coaches, like, I'm sure these people filming right now, how in the world did this team make it to the state championship? Because it felt, and which is a good thing, but it felt like a week 3 during the regular season practice, and even throughout the playoffs, it never felt like, oh, this could be our last practice together. And they just, the players had the mentality of, we know what's going to happen on Saturday. So we're going to come in, we're going to do what we need to do and keep working.
I would say the Hopewell game was actually the week that had the worst feeling going into it. After that, really, after the Galleon, it was just like, all right, guys, we're just going to do us and we're just going to play and have fun. And going in that state game, I remember sitting there at Friday going, this is our last practice, but everybody seemed like, hey, we're going to practice, on Monday. We're going to have Tuesday practice next week. This will never end, so we're just going to keep practicing. And correct me if I'm wrong. It felt like every day that week of state was like, oh, this is just another Thursday practice, and whatever, we'll do it, And it not like it was we were going through the motions, but it was a solid practice, no highs or lows, but it was a solid practice all week.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%. I know, like, after we won the regional championship and then win the state semi, all these fans are cheering and cheering, all of us players are just kind of like, all right, we won another game. Let's go play next week. We just really, honestly, it didn't feel like, I feel like it should have. We just thought, hey, it's another game. We're going to go out and play. And that's kind of the mindset we took through that whole playoffs.
But actually, it's probably better that way. You didn't have that pressure, right? Like, you didn't feel it. You just went out.
I didn't feel pressure to win.
No.
You stuck to the game plan and just made it happen, right?
Yeah. That's what I think. Week 1 there was another thing. I think we kind of felt that pressure because, we had very high expectations and, we had a handful of guys go down. So, we're all like, who's going to play? Who's going to play here? Who's going to play here? We're all getting kind of amped up, but yeah, after that, we started to figure out who we were and we found our groove.
That Hopewell team, they made it to the state playoffs too, right?
They lost to Marion Local.
That's right.
In the Final Four. Yeah.
So, not exactly a slouch to start off the season, right?
Right. They lost one game in the regular season they had the team that they were supposed to play had COVID. They picked somebody up late on a Thursday or something for Friday night game. It was like a Division 2 or 3 team.
Mm-hmm.
Butler, I want to say
17-14. Their quarterback went out halfway through the game. So it wasn't like they were a horrible team that we lost. And they lost to Marion Local, who won state 42-7.
Crazy. Yep, football factory down in Marion for sure.
So is Coldwater.
True. They're all the same. The craziest thing is how there's what, 3 teams from the same division at the state.
Yeah, 3 from the MAC. Yep.
It's wild. I mean, if you think about it, it's
Only one of them didn't win it though.
there we go. Brought it back to Wyandotte County, right?
Something like that.
What, Derek? What sticks out to you? What was like? Man, I don't even know how to ask. What was your favorite play of the state final game? Is there a play that sticks out, or like a series?
For me personally, I want to say, I can't remember if it was their first or second drive, but I was playing safety on defense, and a guy came in running a post or like a deep slant, and they threw it to him. And like as soon as he caught it, I popped him pretty good, and a ball came out, and like that feeling, just looking at the crowd and everyone's cheering, it's like, whoa, like that's awesome. Really, the whole game was it was unbelievable with all the fans there. I mean, it felt like, the whole town of Carey was there. But if that was probably one play that stuck out to me.
The whole town was there.
That was the first drive. You were in Combo. You're backpedaling. I remember that. Yeah.
What you guys that first score, didn't you guys go for 2 to take the lead? That was kind of a statement, right? I assume.
Yeah, I mean,
give it to the Winnebago.
Yeah, it wasn't planned, but I Coach Mershman's telling us to go for 2. I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure we ran the same exact play.
We did.
But yeah, it was kind of a statement. We're not gonna back down. We came to play. We didn't come here to just play the first quarter or whatever, then kind of sag off. We were here to win this thing.
Yeah. So Coach Stockton they were no, we're going to go for 1. I was like, no, we're going for 2. And they're yelling at me and screaming at me. No, we're going for 2. No, we're going for 2. No, going for 2.
Get in there, big boy. Run the ball, right?
And then afterwards, they all asked me, why did you go for 2? I was like, well, I just wanted the lead. I wanted to say at one point it was 8-7. We had the lead. And I knew if we had the lead, we're going to play way better with the lead. Our confidence just went through the roof. And especially when we punched it in the way we did. I knew that's exactly what we needed to own the rest of the game. That gave us the swag I thought we needed.
Definitely. I'd say it definitely fueled the offensive line. When they know Coach has that confidence in them, and then we get it done. They're like, all right, we're gonna keep doing this, and you're not gonna stop us. They get that attitude that no one really sees, but I mean, they have it there, and they took pride all season in what they did.
So you have the lead at halftime then. State championship game. Again, you guys have said this entire time, you've been cool, calm, collect the whole week. The most amped up you were, Hopewell Loudon had the lead at halftime. I guess my question is a 2-part question. At halftime, did you start to, have that feeling that, what, we're close, like we're 2 quarters away? And if not, at what point, wasn't until it was 0 on the clocks left. At what point did you guys finally, let loose and celebrate? Obviously you weren't celebrate at halftime, but, start to kind of get that antsy and those butterflies.
It was kind of a little bit of a both, but the message at halftime was, hey, we win this half, we're state champions, but then at the same time, we like, all right, we can play with these guys. We knew we could play with these guys, and we are playing with these guys. But we knew Coldwater was a fantastic team, and they could strike back at any time. We were always constantly head on a swivel, on our toes. Definitely they scored a touchdown there right at the end of the half, which kind of knocked the wind out of our sail a little bit. But we didn't really hang our heads on that. We just kind of, hey, let's go out and win the second half is all we got to do.
Yeah, my message to them was when we went into half was, don't relax. We're going to be just fine, but don't relax. And all we got to do is, I don't care if we win the second half by 1 point, whatever it takes just to win the second half. Because if you win the second half, we're going to win this game. Yeah, they just scored. My mentality was we get the ball to open up the second half. My thinking was I want a nice solid drive at least. I don't care if we score, but I want to waste as much time off that clock as I can and put pressure on them to be like, oh my gosh, it's halfway through the third quarter. We're down. We got to score, put the pressure all on them, drain the clock down, shorten the game. And we'll just do us and we'll just relax. And I felt like at halftime, it wasn't chaotic. Everybody sat down. Everybody was just like, okay. We put in a couple adjustments on defense, a couple of things on offense. Everybody's like, all right, that sounds good. Yeah, we've done that before. Yeah. All right, let's just go. And then I didn't get amped up that we're going to win it until about a minute 44 when we took the first knee out of 3. When I calculated the time, like, hey, we just take 3 knees, we got this game. I was like, that's when it hit me. Took the headphones off, handed it to one of the assistants, and trying to guard myself from getting soaking wet. And
Did it work?
That's when I felt it. Like, hey, we just won a state championship, and we did it our way. We wasted clock, won the second half 3-0. Like,
Wow.
if you told me you're going to win the second half 3-0 against Water, I'll take that all day long.
Heck yeah. Jordan, what it look like for you at half?
Well, luckily, Coach Mershman calmed me down a little bit. I was quite upset about that Hail Mary pass that they had at the end of the half. Me and the other coach, Coach Dyer, we weren't mad at the players or anything. It was just like we had to. It was funny because as coaches, we're supposed to be the ones with all the calmness in the world, and it was the players that were like, we'll get them next time. And us as coaches, we were like, you gotta be kidding me. We were supposed to go up 3 scores here. But yeah, as far as when it felt like when it started to sink in, as a defensive coach, really our best defense throughout the entire playoffs was our offense. Being able to play keep away from their offense. And so our second to the last offensive drive where we weren't taking knees. So that last offensive drive, I believe it was 2 or 3 4th and shorts where, everybody's amped up and, we need this 4th down to get it. And we ended up just getting it and we're barely getting these first downs. And I'm like, this is it. I think, that we're not going to be denied here. Now we did get stopped eventually, but I just knew that if they ever give us that ball back, so even if they get a lucky one on us, if they ever give us that ball back, they're not getting it back after that.
Yeah, I think we took it off 8 minutes off that on that last drive before the knee drive, I should say.
Yeah.
I think we took 8 minutes,
Wow.
got 5 first downs, and we just chewed the clock. And I couldn't imagine how frustrating that would have been being on the other side. Like, hey, we're down 2 scores. We need the ball. And all they're doing is just, in the huddle, having a good old time, talking about what they're going to eat after the game. There's 15 seconds left on the play clock. I guess we'll snap the ball. And, oh, there's 4 yards. Go back to the huddle. And, that's the way it looked to me. Like, and I'm calling the plays. I'm just like, yeah, we're having a good old time. You guys look like you're having conversations out there. Quarterback, because I'd call the play in with about 25 seconds to go in the play clock, and you guys would sit in the huddle for about another 10 seconds. Just, I don't know what you guys were doing, but whatever.
What were you doing, Derek?
Well, hey, what happens in the huddle stays in the huddle.
Las Vegas.
Hey, it worked, so I'm okay with it. Whatever.
Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, it was really cool, calm, and collected, like you said. But yeah, just having, just taking it all in, especially us seniors, that was our last game. But yeah, no one was, hey, we need this first down. It was like, all right, let's go get a first down. We get a first down, sweet. We're burning the clock. That's what we want to do.
Well, if you're gonna, be a senior, that's the pinnacle of the way to go out, right?
Definitely.
I mean, to win a ring, I assume you guys are getting rings, right?
Yep.
Have them designed?
Huh?
Who designed them?
Well, the captains had input with Mr. Cole, our principal. Mr. Cole did most of the work getting the company. Like we had to have 3 different companies so they could get different quotes and everything. He did a fantastic job. I think we just today finalized who we're going with and the final design. But the captains pretty much designed it with him. And I thought they looked pretty sweet. Hopefully they come out as sweet as the pictures. So
Pretty awesome. It's kind of a dream as a coach, right?
yeah.
I mean, that's it, right? Win a championship.
Yeah, but hate to say it, but Derek, you're gonna have to off my screen here for a second. But now I want a second one.
How many you got coming back?
Not as many as I would like. Can I steal? Get COVID? Do we get red shirt COVID year?
Yeah, I'd have to take out of the stay, right?
Oh man, if we do a red shirt COVID year, yeah, I'd take all my guys back and we'd do it again.
What does next year look like? I guess for both the coaches, what does next year look like? And then Derek, what is, for you, do you have any plans after high school as of now?
I'll start with what's it look like offense. I think we got about 3 guys with experience coming back, 3 to 4 played here and there. Defensively, I think we are a little bit deeper with experience. We got like 5 or 6 probably guys that are coming back. Basically for us, it's line. We lost a lot of line and a lot of experience at line. When you got 4 on offense, you had 4 seniors who've been playing since their sophomore year. So you're looking at we played 13 games sophomore year. We played 10 their junior year. So there's 23 plus another 16 this year. What was it, 23? So now we're at 39 games in 3 years of experience on the offensive line of 4 guys. That's kind of tough to replace because I tell you, we would call plays and yeah, they knew exactly what to do up front. But defensively, again, experience up front, we're losing it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Any of those guys going to the next level to play?
A lot of coaches came in this last week to talk to some guys, so I'm hoping. No, Easton's for sure right now. He's signed with Youngstown State
Nice.
yesterday, I believe, officially signed. We're gonna have a signing thing for him when we get back from Christmas break. But yeah, he's the for sure, and I think some other guys we get to talk to right now. From Ashland was in, Tiffin was in. Want to talk to some of these guys.
Awesome.
Yeah. For the team next year, I have faith in all the guys. The next year's seniors. They are really big in the weight room. And I think I hope, we kind of showed them, what it takes, to be successful. And I have all the faith in the world, yeah, we're losing a bunch of guys, but, at the same time, there were a lot of kids who kind of, how do I want to say this, took a peek at varsity time or, got a little snippet here and there that I don't think a lot of people realized. And there's some couple of athletes in the upcoming, sophomore class, freshman class, but personally, football isn't completely out of the door yet. I'm still open, but I'm going to major in construction management. Not sure where yet, but I have a couple schools in mind, and playing football isn't totally out the window. So
Cool.
So as we wrap up this podcast, then I do want to, hometown highlights, we have a strong emphasis on the community, and wherever that community is, whether that's here in Northwest Ohio, we've had obviously, interviews and such out of the state of Ohio, wherever your community is. Obviously you guys have that strong community in Carey. I'm sure that community has been very present, obviously throughout the entire season and especially throughout the playoff run. I would love to hear kind of from all three of you. Essentially, what the community has meant to you individually, what it has meant to the team, but then even if there is a certain moment, either, before a game, after the game, state playoff run, that's an open-ended question, but if there is a specific moment you said, wow, I love the support, love, what we're seeing here from the community.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Definitely all the support throughout the playoffs, from the local companies and, neighboring towns, writing on billboards and stuff, just all the support we got. And there's probably two moments I would say that really I was like, man, like this is awesome that all these people, are supporting us. And that is probably, walking out of the tunnel there at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame, that final time to go out onto the field. And, that whole away section, was just packed, and we look over at Coldwater's and they don't have near as the number of fans, we had. And then definitely coming home, we took the buses right down Main Street, and it was packed. It was crazy, getting off the bus, everyone's there waiting on you, pictures with the little kids. And it was just those two moments right there was like, this is a big reason why I love Carey football.
Yeah, and the big thing there is I think it was so cool through Carey, but obviously when your football team goes to a state championship, you expect that sort of community support and everybody to be excited and everything, which they were awesome, and the town of Carey was awesome during all this. But what I thought was actually special about it was the way that surrounding communities were also getting in on this as well, and showing their support. Our league reached out to Coach Mershman. They helped us out with a couple of things. They were just congratulating us, and then we have pizza places and Upper Sandusky, and we have a restaurant in Findlay, and all wanting to donate to us and feed us and just say congratulations to us. And it was cool that it kind of was far reaching, where our community got a little bit bigger for this one event. So that was the coolest part to me. But as far as a moment that goes, that will always stick into my mind is, like what Derek was saying when we got back to Carey and Main Street, and there was a sea of people. Everybody, they had to clear people out of the way so the buses could even get through the streets, and the team got off the bus, and then the coaches walked off the bus, and then Mershman had the state championship trophy in his hands, and when he walked off the bus, he held that trophy up. And just the way people went insane, it was an awesome atmosphere. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, like he said, the communities around us stepped up. Our league really stepped up and showed a lot of support. For me, actually, Derek was telling me the other day, got a letter from an ex-quarterback from Carey. And he doesn't live in Carey anymore. And that just shows you that letter. And I'm not going to go into what the letter said. That's on Derek, because he's the one that got it. But, that quarterback was the 75 quarterback, and how they have a bond together, and how he, didn't have to write that letter, didn't have to do any of that stuff, And it's just amazing to me how Carey football brings this town together. Good, bad, and indifferent, it brings us together. Like I tell everybody, it's a marriage. There's a fine line between love and hate. But I love this town. I love this community. At the end of the day, we're married together. So through thick and thin, and sometimes they hate me, but then next week they love me. So, right now I'm riding the love train as long as I can, probably until game one, but we'll see.
Let's say there's more love this year. I think you're going to get at least solid 8 months of it.
Yeah, I'll take the 8 months. But yeah, there's this town when it comes to football, the support. Whew, I can't explain it. If you need it, they will come.
It's awesome. It's very awesome. Those are cool. Thanks for sharing those stories. Derek, do you want to talk about the letter at all? I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. 1975. Was that the last state team? So
Yeah.
he was the quarterback on the state team?
Yeah. Yeah, we were actually, I was getting ready for a basketball scrimmage, and I seen the mailbox in the football, and someone said there was an envelope there with my name on it, and it was, down from the Cincinnati area, which is where he's from. And I just thought it was kind of weird. I didn't know who it was. And, I opened it up and started reading it. And, yeah, he congratulated me and, told me that him and I are the only two people in the world, that know this feeling of leading the Carey Blue Devils to a state championship, and, just really spoke highly, and just I couldn't have thanked him enough. I mean, he didn't have to do that at all. But yeah, just the support, once a Blue Devil, always a Blue Devil kind of mentality. And yeah, it was awesome. That really definitely, that kind of put the cherry on top to, close the season out.
That's so cool. Thanks for sharing. I mean, it just shows you what sports can do. They can connect people in ways that you never thought possible. It's just so, Dom was a college athlete. I played college ball. There's just things that happen that are unexplainable. Like you gave me goosebumps, each of you, in different phases throughout that interview. And it's really cool to see you run. We're from Findlay. We were obviously rooting for you, watching it on TV, reading the articles. It was always being talked about. Hey, Carey plays so-and-so. How do you think they're going to do, like going against Coldwater? We don't really know. You guys are in the trenches. We're not. We're just fans. So, but no, congrats, to all three of you and the whole, community of Carey, your whole football team, the seniors, the school. It's just really cool that you're able to do that, especially with what's going on in the world and pandemic. You're able to just shut all that out, go to work, win the game. So cool, man. It's really neat to see just from a neighboring community and watch you guys, and you can just see it on your faces how excited you are still that you are state champs, and congrats for all that.
Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're talking about community, and one of the things that we got going on right now through the community is our ZB project, our locker room. We got started with that right after our last home game. They started tearing up concrete around the stadium and putting in the footer today, actually.
Wow.
And ZB would be Zach Broadman, who passed away, I think 2016.
No, 18.
It's only been like 3 years. 19. Sorry, it was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he passed away in a car accident. He played for us. And he also ties to the wrestling program, the Biddy Wrestling. And so the project will help the football team and the wrestling team. And I couldn't be more excited about that, to, give back to him and well, actually he's given to us. And I think that's a great project that also helps tie in the community together. And it's all funded through the community. It's not, school funded at all. So I just want to thank everybody for that as well, because we got started with that this year.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, guys, thank you. Appreciate your time. It's been an awesome interview. Awesome just kind of go through from the start to the end, kind of the Carey football season. Hope you guys enjoy the next 8 months, and, good luck next year, coaches, going for that back-to-back, going for number 2. And Derek, good luck with your decision. And, hopefully you can play football somewhere if you can find the right school. But yeah, again, appreciate your time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.